Well, listeners, welcome back to Subculture After Dark. We've got something very, very special for you all right now. There is a brand new album out that I know a lot of you are going to fall in love with. It is called The Future Belongs to the Mad, and it's by Binary Order. So we thought we would actually get the man behind Binary Order on the phone right now to chat about this amazing new album. Welcome to the program, Benjamin.
Hey Dave, welcome. Thanks for having me. It's very early, yeah? So, early for me, so yeah. But thanks for having me.
No worries. Now, mate, tell us a little bit about this album and how it's come into being, because I understand this album took about 9 months to bring together.
Yeah, I put messages out, messages from the Deep, my last album, around Christmas, and I pretty much just started writing straight away, and it just didn't stop. It was like the full 9 months just working on this album, and it was really just sort of, pedal to the metal, just every day, just sort of grinding it out, and just really trying to push myself further from where I was with messages, and make the sound bigger and more intense, but also more interesting as well. Use a lot of new sounds and stuff. And I think there's 3 singles out at the moment, and the reception to them has been overwhelming, really.
There's so much going on with this album. It's like a complete soundscape. Was there something that you wanted to achieve with this album? Like, were you thinking that you wanted to achieve a certain goal or anything like that when you first started to work on it?
Yeah, definitely. Every time I make an album, I feel like I'm trying to make the same album, but they always come out different. I've got this like magnum opus in my mind that I'm always working towards, and it's just this, crazy sort of industrial metal, electronic soundscape, atmospheric ambient thing, and it's really sort of pushing those things to the next level with every single album. And with this one, I really wanted to go further with some of the sounds and some of the genres that I could sort of explore, and change what I think people thought Binary Order could be with the last album and the EP I put out in between, and just sort of really expand where I was. And for me, when making this album, I really wanted to sort of create something that went across multiple sort of genres, while also having like a very sort of core sound to it.
Awesome. Yeah, because that definitely works. And was there anything inspiring you when you were working on this as well? Because it feels like it should be the soundtrack to some epic movie. Like, was there different things inspiring you at that time?
Well, thanks for saying so. I get that a lot, that my stuff sounds cinematic, and I love it. I'm a big fan of like movie soundtracks and stuff, and I've got no formal training in that, so I don't know how I've managed to incorporate that into my music, but I'm very happy about it. But for me, I think it's just, on a personal level, it's my own personal life, and like the state of the world around me was very inspirational for what I was doing with this. And I really wanted it to be like a snapshot of where I am right now. And the whole album, every track bleeds into each other, and I really wanted it to sort of be like a journey from the beginning to end, which, might sound a bit pompous or a bit cliche, but that was a big thing for me, for the whole thing to, like, not just be a collection of songs, but be an album.
Yeah. Do you find that you create, like, your own world in your mind when you start to work on something like this?
Yeah, definitely. This album almost sort of slipped into concept album territory, especially when I was starting to get the artwork down, and the title and everything, and sort of all the stuff that was around the actual music and all the personal issues. It definitely felt that like it was sort of like a near future kind of atmosphere I was creating, like an 80s film that's based in 2017, like Running Man or Blade Runner kind of thing. Like in my mind, it's sort of, when I was doing a lot of the atmosphere stuff and the links between the tracks and that kind of thing, it definitely sort of started to take on almost like, sort of a concept album vibe to me.
You mentioned before about creating a lot of different sounds for this album. Tell us a little bit about that process. Like, it's It's such a fascinating part of industrial metal in that you can be a lot more creative than, say, someone who's just a band that's just using guitar, bass, and drums. How do you go about creating new sounds, and how do you know when you've nailed it when you're trying to create something new like that?
It's interesting that you say that, because that's one of the reasons I'm drawn to industrial, because I quite like the ability to go outside the realms of metal and it be fine, with, you know, the fan base and stuff. And for me, I've just, in my personal life, I've got a lot of interest in different styles of music, and I'm always, you know, finding new music and stuff and being interested by it and sort of wanting to try that myself. And, you know, with this album, I got tracks like Skin and Feel Again, which are widely different from each other, and then they're completely different from like the rest of the album. And with those two tracks, it was a very sort of conscious idea, like I want to make a song that sounds very IDM inspired with Skin, or with Feel Again, I really wanted to do sort of like a new wave throwback. And it's less about having different sounds for me, and it's more about making everything sound like it works together. I think that was the big thing when I came into this, and I think I accomplished it, and because of that, it sort of opened the doors to like experiment even further going forward and sort of push beyond what's expected of industrial and expected of Binary Order.
So what's your next steps now? Like, are you hoping to start work on a new album again soon, or are you hoping to do some shows? What are the plans going forward now for Binary Order?
Well, I'm promoting The Future Belongs to the Mad at the moment, as you're probably well aware. And my intention was to not write. I think I finished the album and sent it off to the PR company I'm working with around August. And I was like, I won't write for 3 months. I'll let the ideas build up and then go back in. But I started writing like almost instantly. And yeah, I've got a collection of songs already that I'm working on for the next album. I want to do another EP as well. I've got an idea for another cover. It's just, I just can't stop writing this stuff. But yeah, like the plans at the moment is to promote this album and then, you know, release the stuff I'm working on now.
Awesome. So now the big questions. Where can people grab a copy of The Future Belongs to the Mad if they want to listen to the whole thing?
Sure, it's out November 28th, and it's going to be available streaming everywhere. So that'll be all the major sites like Spotify, Deezer, and Apple Music. It's going to be free on Bandcamp as well, and it'll be completely free on YouTube. Just anywhere people expect to find music, it'll probably be there.
And if people want to follow you on social media, where's the best place for them to go and follow you so they can see what's happening with your career going forward?
Sure, I'm most active on Facebook, but, you know, I respond to messages and comments everywhere. But Facebook is where I'm most active. It's sort of like the hub, and then all the other social medias, because there's so many of them now, sort of spiral out from there. But yeah, it's definitely Binary Order on Facebook.
Awesome. Well, mate, to finish off, I'm hoping a lot of our listeners out there want to take a listen to this album because it is an absolutely amazing album. So to finish off, what would you like to say to people out there before they sit down and listen The Future Belongs to the Mad from start to finish?
I'm just always happy when people take the time to listen to my music. I don't mind if the reaction's good or bad. I think apathy is the worst thing you can have. So if someone takes the time to sit down and listen to my music, that means more to me than I'm able to convey, and I really appreciate that.